The medical facility was clean and white and felt like a prison. Hana sat on an examination table in the center of a large room, surrounded by transparent walls. Beyond those walls, a team of alien doctors and scientists studied her from a safe distance, taking notes on glowing tablets and whispering to each other. 3 days had passed since her arrival. 3 days of being poked and scanned by remote instruments. 3 days of eating bland nutrient paste because the doctors were afraid normal station food might poison her, or that she might contaminate it. 3 days of being treated like a dangerous animal. The lead researcher approached the transparent wall. He was a Morphean, slug-like with gray-green skin and 4 eye stalks that waved gently as he moved. His name was Dr. Then, and he was the first alien who seemed more curious than frightened. "Good morning, Miss Kim," Dr. Then said through his translator. His voice was surprisingly gentle. "How are you feeling today?" "Lonely," Hana answered honestly. "And frustrated. I came here to study alien life, not to be studied." Dr. Then's eye stalks drooped slightly. "I understand. I am sorry for the circumstances. But you must understand our position. Humans are unlike anything we have encountered before. I've heard that several times, but no one has really explained why Earth is so terrible." Dr. Then was quiet for a moment. Then he pulled up a chair and sat down near the wall, closer than any other alien had dared to come. "May I ask you some questions about your world?" "Sure," Hana said. "What do you want to know?" "Let us start with gravity. What is normal gravity on Earth?" 9.8 meters per second squared, Hana recited. "Standard gravity. Standard for you, perhaps. For most coalition worlds, normal gravity is between 3 and 4 meters per second squared. Your world has 3 times the gravitational pull of our average planet. Your bones are dense and strong because they must support your weight against that crushing force. Your muscles are powerful because every movement requires enormous strength." Hana frowned. "I never thought about it that way. It's just normal for us." "Exactly. Normal for a Deathworlder." Dr. Then brought up a holographic display showing Earth. "Your atmosphere contains 21% oxygen. Most inhabited worlds have between 9 and 12%. To us, your air is poison. It would burn our lungs. It would cause our cells to age rapidly. It would kill us." "But you breathe oxygen too," Hana protested. "Yes, in much smaller amounts. Your atmosphere is so reactive, so harsh, that it should have prevented life from developing. Yet Earth life adapted. It became stronger. Your cells process oxygen in ways that would destroy most galactic biology." The hologram zoomed in on Earth's surface. "Your star is what we classify as a yellow dwarf. It produces intense radiation. Your planet's magnetic field protects you, but the surface still receives more radiation than any of our homeworlds. You are constantly exposed to levels that would give most species radiation poisoning. But humans simply developed melanin to protect themselves. You adapted to survive." Hana watched the hologram rotate. Earth looked so beautiful from space, blue and green and white with swirling clouds. "It's a lovely planet," she said softly. "It is a horror show," Dr. Then replied, but his tone was not unkind. "Your weather patterns are violent beyond measure. You have storms with winds exceeding 300 kilometers per hour, waves of water tall as buildings that smash into coastlines, rotating vortexes that destroy everything in their path. Most coalition worlds have gentle rain and soft breezes. Your world has hurricanes and tornadoes and tsunamis. Those are rare," Hana said. "Most of Earth is peaceful most of the time, but they exist at all. On my world, the strongest wind ever recorded was 40 kilometers per hour, and it made history books. You have storms that would strip continents bare." Dr. Then pulled up another display, this one showing various Earth animals. "Then there is your wildlife. Millions of species, and so many are designed to kill. Venomous serpents, poisonous amphibians, insects that cause disease, predators with claws and fangs. On most worlds, the food chain has 3 or 4 levels. On Earth, you have apex predators competing with other apex predators. Your planet is a battlefield of survival." Hana looked at the images of lions and bears and sharks. She had always thought they were magnificent. They're just animals trying to live. You evolved alongside them. You competed with them. You won. Dr. Then's eye stalks focused intently on her. "Do you know what most species do when faced with a predator? They run, they hide. They evolved camouflage or shells or the ability to fly. Humans did something different. Humans learned to hunt the hunters. We're omnivores," Hana said. "We eat plants too, because you had to." Because your world was so harsh that you needed to eat anything you could find to survive. But your biology tells the story. Your eyes face forward, giving you depth perception for tracking prey. Your teeth include canines for tearing meat. You can track movement with incredible precision. You are built to hunt. Hana felt uncomfortable. She had never thought of herself as a hunter. We're also built to think, to create, to cooperate. Yes, and that makes you more dangerous, not less. Dr. Then brought up another display, this one showing human physiology. Your body has redundant systems. You have 2 kidneys when you only need 1. You can survive with 1 lung. You can lose large amounts of blood and still function. Your bones can break and heal stronger than before. You feel pain, but you can push through it. You have an endocrine system that floods your body with chemicals during stress, making you faster and stronger when threatened. That's just adrenaline, Hana said. It's a survival response. It is terrifying. Most species shut down when injured or frightened. Humans become more dangerous. You have something we call persistence. You do not give up. If you decide to do something, you will continue trying until you succeed or die. This is not normal behavior. Hana was silent for a long moment. You make us sound like monsters. Dr. Then's eye stalks waved in what might have been a negative gesture. Not monsters, survivors, but to most beings in the galaxy there is little difference. We evolved on gentle worlds where cooperation was enough. We did not need claws or speed or persistence. We simply needed to get along with each other. Earth demanded more from its children. It demanded strength and resilience and the will to survive no matter the cost. And you answered that demand. So what happens now? Hana asked. Do I stay in this cage forever? That is being decided. The Coalition Council is debating humanity's membership status. Some believe humans should be welcomed. Others believe you should be contained for everyone's safety. The vote could go either way. Hana stood up and walked to the transparent wall. Dr. Then didn't flinch, though she saw his eye stalks twitch nervously. We're not monsters, she said firmly. Yes, Earth is harsh. Yes, we're strong. But we're also kind. We're curious. We dream of stars and write poetry and create art. We're more than just survivors. I believe you, Dr. Then said quietly. But you must understand most beings in the galaxy have never seen a Deathworlder before. Fear is natural when facing the unknown. You must give them time to understand. How much time? Dr. Then's eye stalks drooped again. I do not know. I hope not long. I find you fascinating, Miss Kim. Frightening, yes, but also remarkable. Earth created something unique in you. Perhaps the galaxy needs that uniqueness. Perhaps, Hana echoed. She looked past the doctor, past the walls of her cage toward the stars beyond the station. Somewhere out there was Earth, home to 8 billion humans who all hoped for a place among the stars. She was the first. She had to make this work somehow. She had to show them that Deathworlders could be more than their planet made them. 2 weeks after Hana's arrival, she stood in a virtual courtroom that didn't physically exist. Her body remained in the medical facility, but holographic technology projected her image into the Coalition Council chambers. Around her, representatives from hundreds of worlds sat in their own holographic forms, debating humanity's fate. Hana was not alone. 2 other humans stood beside her, also projected from Earth. Minho Park, Earth's first official ambassador, was a calm man in his 50s who had spent years preparing for this moment. Jisoo Lee was younger, a military historian who had been brought in to address security concerns. Together, they represented their entire species before the galaxy. The council chamber was enormous, designed to hold beings of vastly different sizes. Some representatives appeared tiny, no larger than Hana's hand. Others were massive, towering shapes that spoke through translators. The diversity was beautiful and overwhelming. The question before this council is simple, declared the speaker, a crystalline being who sparkled as it spoke. Should humanity be granted full membership in the Galactic Coalition, or should the Sol system be quarantined for the safety of all? A Quillarian representative stood up, its mantis-like form glowing with agitation. The answer is obvious. Humans are Deathworlders. They come from a planet that would kill most of us within hours. They are predators, violent by nature. We have never allowed a Deathworld species into the Coalition. We should not start now. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber. Hana felt her stomach tighten. Ambassador Minho raised his hand, requesting permission to speak. The speaker acknowledged him with a flash of light. The Quillarian representative speaks of violence, Minho said, his voice steady and clear. But humans are not inherently violent. Yes, we can fight. Yes, we evolved on a harsh world. But we also evolved art and music and literature. We built civilizations based on law and cooperation. We reached for the stars not to conquer, but to explore and learn. He gestured, and images appeared in the air around him. Human cities, not as weapons of war, but as homes. Human art, paintings and sculptures and music from 1,000 cultures. Human achievements in science and medicine and technology, all developed through cooperation and shared knowledge. We are more than our planet made us, Minho continued. We are shaped by Earth, yes, but we chose what to do with that shape. We chose peace. We chose diplomacy. We ask only for the chance to prove ourselves. A different representative stood, this one resembling a floating jellyfish with bioluminescent tendrils. But can you guarantee peace? Your own history shows thousands of years of warfare. Humans fight each other constantly. Jisoo Lee stepped forward. You're right. We have fought wars. We have made terrible mistakes. But we learned from them. We built international laws. We created the United Nations. We achieved global cooperation despite our differences. Yes, we're capable of violence, but we're also capable of choosing not to be violent. That choice matters. Pretty words, the Quillarian said. But how do we know you won't turn that violence on us? One human in a rage could kill dozens of our people with bare hands. Your strength alone makes you a threat. Hana spoke before she could stop herself. Then what about Dr. Then? The chamber fell silent. All eyes turned to her. Dr. Then is a Morphean, Hana continued. He's been studying me for 2 weeks. He's been closer to me than any other alien has dared. Have I hurt him? Have I threatened him? No, because I'm not a monster. I'm a person just like all of you. We don't attack everyone we meet. We make friends, we help. We care. One human behaving well does not represent your entire species, the Quillarian said coldly. Before anyone could respond, alarms blared through the chamber. The speaker's crystalline form flashed urgent red. Council members, we have an emergency transmission from the Tarragon Belt mining colony. They are under attack. A new hologram appeared showing a panicked alien trying to speak through static. Vrex raiders, defenses failing, hull breaches in sectors 4 and 7. The transmission cut out, replaced by the image of a small asteroid colony, with ships swarming around it like angry insects. The speaker's voice was grim. The colony has 4 hours of life support remaining. Our nearest fleet is 6 days away. Silence filled the chamber. Hana looked at the image of the colony, seeing the bright flashes of weapons fire, the expanding clouds of atmosphere venting into space. 247 beings lived on that colony. They were going to die. Ambassador Minho spoke urgently. How far is the human exploration ship from that position? The speaker paused, checking data. The vessel Dauntless is approximately 14 hours away at their maximum speed. And how fast is maximum speed? Jisoo asked. Faster than any coalition civilian ship according to their registry. They've been shadowing these proceedings from outside the system. Minho looked at Jisoo, then at Hana. Some silent communication passed between them. Then Minho turned to the council. The Dauntless can reach the colony in time. Let us help. You want to send humans to rescue coalition citizens? The Quillarian asked, incredulous. You want to send Deathworlders to protect our people? Yes, Minho said simply. Because it's the right thing to do. The ship is not military, Jisoo added. It's a science vessel with a crew of 12. They're explorers, not soldiers. But they're humans. If there's any chance to save those colonists, they'll take it. The speaker's form flickered as it processed this information. Even if your ship could reach the colony, the Vrex are formidable warriors. They've conquered dozens of colonies. 12 humans cannot stand against them. Let us try, Hana said. You're debating whether humans are too dangerous to trust. Let us show you what we do when people are in danger. Let us show you who we really are. The council erupted into arguments. Some members supported the idea. Others called it foolish. The Quillarian representative insisted it was a trap, that humans would take over the colony for themselves. The speaker raised its arms, calling for silence. The colony is dying. We have no other options. I am authorizing the human vessel Dauntless to attempt a rescue. However, coalition monitors will observe their actions. If the humans show any sign of hostile intent, they will be destroyed. Understood, Minho said. He looked at Hana. You're still at the station. Are you willing to join the Dauntless? Hana didn't hesitate. Yes, you understand the risk? The Vreks are dangerous. People might die, and people are already dying. If I can help save them, I will. The Quilarian representative made a harsh sound. Of course, the Deathworlder volunteers for violence. This proves my point. No, Dr. Then said, speaking up from his observer seat. This proves hers. She volunteers not for violence, but to help. There is a difference. The holographic courtroom dissolved. Hana found herself back in her medical facility, but the door was opening. Dr. Then stood there, his eye stalks waving nervously. A shuttle is waiting to take you to the Dauntless. I have sent your belongings ahead. Thank you, Hana said. She started to leave, then paused. Dr. Then, do you think we can do this? The Morphean was quiet for a moment. I do not know. The Vreks have destroyed many colonies. They are brutal and efficient. But humans are something new. Perhaps that will make the difference. Perhaps your persistence will save lives where our gentleness would fail. Hana nodded and walked toward the shuttle. Behind her, Dr. Then watched her go, his eye stalks drooping with worry. He had studied her for 2 weeks, had learned much about human biology and capability. He had concluded that humans were indeed dangerous, indeed frighteningly powerful. But he had also concluded something else. Humans, despite everything their harsh world had made them, chose to use that power to protect others. That made them heroes, not monsters. He hoped the galaxy would learn that difference before it was too late. The shuttle carrying Hana launched from the station, accelerating toward a distant ship and an uncertain future. The entire galaxy watched and waited to see what humans would do when given the chance to prove themselves. The countdown on the colony's life support continued ticking downward. Hana Kim pressed her nose against the viewport window and stared at the massive structure floating in space. The transit station looked like a giant crystal flower, its petals glowing with soft blue and purple lights. She had dreamed of this moment for years. Finally, she was here. Finally, she would meet aliens. The transport ship docked with a gentle thump. Hana grabbed her single bag and joined the line of passengers heading toward the airlock. She was the only human on board. The other passengers were returning citizens of the Galactic Coalition, heading home after visiting Earth. They had been polite but distant during the journey, watching her with curious eyes whenever they thought she wasn't looking. The airlock opened and Hana stepped into the station. Her breath caught in her throat. The terminal stretched out before her like something from a dream. The ceiling arched high above, made of some transparent material that showed the stars beyond. Aliens of every imaginable shape and size moved through the space. Some walked on 2 legs like her. Others floated on anti-gravity platforms. A few slithered across the floor on multiple appendages. Hana forced herself to close her mouth and walk forward. She was a xenobiologist. She had studied alien life for a decade. She should act professional, not like a tourist seeing the ocean for the first time. Signs in multiple languages floated in the air, guiding travelers to different areas. Hana followed the symbols pointing toward immigration. The other passengers from her ship had already scattered, moving through the terminal with practiced ease. She was alone now, walking toward her future. The immigration area was surprisingly similar to airports back on Earth. Rows of scanning stations stood in neat lines. Aliens moved through them quickly, placing their hands or appendages on glowing panels before continuing on their way. A few security drones floated near the ceiling, their sensors sweeping the crowd. Hana joined the shortest line. The alien in front of her looked like a walking tree branch, thin and brown with leaves growing from its shoulders. It placed something that might have been a hand on the scanner. The machine beeped pleasantly and a green light flashed. The alien moved on. Hana stepped forward. The scanning station was adjusted for beings of different heights. She placed her hand on the cool surface of the scanner, just like she had practiced in the briefing videos. The machine hummed. She felt a slight tingle as it read her DNA. The humming changed pitch. It grew louder, more urgent. Hana frowned. This didn't sound right. Red lights blazed to life all around her. Alarm screamed through the terminal. The scanner's display flashed words in a dozen languages. Hana could read the English version. Species. Deathworlder, Earth, quarantine protocol initiated. Before she could move, energy barriers snapped up around her, forming a glowing cage. Security drones dropped from the ceiling, their weapons pointed at her chest. Hana raised her hands instinctively, her heart hammering. "Don't move," a voice shouted through a translator. "Stay where you are." Hana stayed frozen. Through the energy barrier, she could see aliens running away from her position. Some stumbled in their haste to escape. Others simply vanished through doors that sealed behind them. Within seconds, the busy terminal had become empty, except for the security drone circling her cage. A figure approached cautiously, staying well outside the barrier. It looked like a giant praying mantis, standing upright on 4 legs with 2 more limbs held close to its chest. Its triangular head turned to study her, compound eyes reflecting the red emergency lights. "I am Security Officer Velthos," the mantis said through its translator. Its voice sounded thin and frightened. "You will remain in containment until proper protocols are established." "I don't understand," Hana said, trying to keep her voice steady. "What's happening?" "What's wrong with my scan?" Velthos took a step backward. "You are from Earth. You are a Deathworlder." "A what?" Before Velthos could answer, a hologram flickered to life in front of Hana's cage. It showed a being made of flowing light, vaguely humanoid but constantly shifting. When it spoke, its voice was calm and measured. "I am Ambassador Thren of the Coalition Diplomatic Corps," the hologram said. "I apologize for the alarm, but protocols must be followed. You are the first human to pass through this station. We were not fully prepared." "Prepared for what?" Hana asked. "I'm just a scientist. I have all my papers. Earth is a member of the Coalition now." "A probationary member, yes," Thren agreed. "But you must understand, Miss Kim. Earth is classified as a Class 9 death world. Your species evolved on one of the most dangerous planets in known space." Hana stared at the hologram. "Dangerous?" "Earth is beautiful. It's home. To you, perhaps. To most beings in the galaxy, your world is a nightmare." Thren's form rippled, suggesting discomfort. "The gravity alone would crush 70% of Coalition species. The oxygen levels in your atmosphere are toxic to most. The radiation from your star, the violent weather, the predatory life forms. Earth should not have produced intelligent life. Yet it did. It produced you." "We're not dangerous," Hana protested. "We're peaceful. We want to learn to explore." "You are an apex predator," Velthos said from his safe distance. Your eyes face forward. Your teeth are designed for tearing meat. Your body is built for pursuit and violence. These are facts. Hana looked down at her hands, still raised in surrender. She had never thought of herself as a predator. She was just a person, just a scientist who wanted to see the stars. "What happens now?" she asked quietly. "You will be taken to a medical facility for observation," Thren explained. "Earth's application for full Coalition membership is under review. Until that process is complete, humans will be subject to quarantine procedures. We must ensure the safety of all Coalition citizens." "How long will that take?" "As long as necessary." The floor beneath Hana's cage began to move. She was being transported somewhere, still trapped in her energy prison. Through the transparent walls, she could see the beautiful station passing by. Aliens still fled at the sight of her cage, pressing themselves against walls or ducking into doorways. Hana had dreamed of meeting aliens her entire life. She had imagined conversations about science and culture. She had pictured friendships forming between species, bridges being built between Earth and the stars. She had never imagined this. She had never imagined being the monster in someone else's nightmare. The cage carried her deeper into the station, away from the terminal, away from the stars visible through the viewports. Hana sat down on the moving floor and hugged her knees to her chest. She was alone in a cage, light years from home, and the entire galaxy was afraid of her. This was not how First Contact was supposed to go. The Dauntless was not built for war. It was a research vessel, designed for deep space exploration and scientific study. But as Hana stepped aboard, she saw a crew preparing for battle with whatever tools they had. Captain Do-hyun Choi met her at the airlock. He was a compact man with sharp eyes and quick movements. "Welcome aboard, Dr. Kim. I wish we were meeting under better circumstances." "How long until we reach the colony?" Hana asked. 13 hours at maximum burn. The engines aren't designed for this kind of sustained speed, but Nari is keeping them together. He gestured toward engineering, where a young woman with oil-stained hands was working frantically at a control panel. "What's the plan?" Do-hyun's expression was grim. "Honestly, we're making it up as we go. The Vrex have 6 raider ships surrounding the colony. They're cutting through the habitat domes one by one. We have 12 people, no weapons, and a ship that's basically a flying laboratory. But we have to try. Hana followed him through the ship, meeting the crew. They were scientists and engineers, not soldiers. A botanist who studied alien plants, a geologist who analyzed planetary composition, a computer specialist who managed data systems. None of them had trained for combat. But all of them had volunteered to fly toward danger. The ship shuddered as the engines pushed beyond their designed limits. Nari Sung, the engineer, called up from her station. "Captain, the engines are at 120% capacity. I can't promise they'll hold." "Keep them running as long as you can," Do-hyun replied. "Those colonists don't have time for us to be careful." Hours passed. The crew worked, preparing for what was coming. They modified mining lasers into makeshift weapons. They turned the ship's industrial cutting tools into something that might hurt the Vrex ships. They practiced moving in zero gravity, knowing the colony's artificial gravity would be failing. Hana helped where she could, using her xenobiology knowledge to brief the crew on what they knew about Vrex physiology. The Vrex were insectoid with hard exoskeletons and powerful mandibles. They worked in coordinated groups almost like a hive mind. They were strong, fast, and had conquered dozens of colonies across the frontier. "They sound unbeatable," one crew member said quietly. "They haven't met humans yet," Do-hyun replied. "They don't know what we can do." "What can we do?" another asked. "We're scientists pretending to be warriors." "We're survivors," Hana said. "That's what Earth made us. That's what they don't understand about us. We don't have to be soldiers to fight. We just have to refuse to give up." The Dauntless dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the Terrigan Belt. The colony appeared on their screens, a small asteroid that had been hollowed out and turned into a habitat. Vrex ships surrounded it, their dark hulls bristling with weapons. Explosions flashed across the colony's surface as the raiders tore through the remaining defenses. "Life support is critical," the computer specialist reported. "They have maybe 90 minutes left." "Then we have 90 minutes to work with," Do-hyun said. He opened a channel to the Vrex ships. "This is the Dauntless. Leave the colony now or face the consequences." There was a pause. Then harsh clicking laughter came through the speakers. A Vrex voice translated into flat, emotionless words. "One small ship. 12 life forms. You cannot stop us." "You're about to learn something new," Do-hyun said. "You're about to learn what happens when you threaten humans." He closed the channel and looked at his crew. "Everyone to stations. Let's show them what Deathworlders can do." The Dauntless accelerated toward the colony at speeds that made the ship's structure groan. The Vrex ships turned to meet them, weapons charging. But Do-hyun didn't slow down. He aimed straight for the nearest raider, pushing the ship faster. "Captain, they're targeting us," someone called out. "I see it." "Hold steady," the Vrex fired. Energy weapons blazed through space. But Do-hyun twisted the ship at the last second, the hull passing within meters of the deadly beams. He used the colony's gravity to slingshot around it, building up speed while staying too close for the Vrex to shoot without hitting their own ships. "Nari, can you give me more speed?" "If I do, the engines will explode." "Then give me more speed until they're about to explode." The Dauntless shot forward. Do-hyun brought them alongside the nearest Vrex raider, so close the hulls almost touched. "Now!" he shouted. The crew opened fire with their modified mining lasers. The beams, designed to cut through asteroids, sliced into the Vrex ship's hull. Air vented into space. The raider tried to pull away, but Do-hyun stayed with it, matching every movement. "Boarding team, you're up," Do-hyun called. Hana sealed her helmet and moved to the airlock with 5 other crew members. They had never done this before. They had trained for maybe 6 hours, but the colonists were dying and there was no time for doubt. The airlock opened. Hana pushed off into space, using small thrusters to guide herself toward the hole their lasers had cut in the Vrex ship. Behind her, the other humans followed. They looked like moths fluttering toward a flame, small and fragile against the massive ship. They reached the hull and pulled themselves inside. Emergency lights flashed red. The corridor was filled with floating debris. Somewhere in the ship, alarms screamed. Vrex warriors appeared, scrambling along the walls with their many legs. They were bigger than Hana had expected, each one the size of a large horse with mandibles that could snap steel. They rushed forward, confident in their strength and numbers. The humans met them with improvised weapons and desperate courage. Hana fired her mining laser, the beam cutting through a Vrex's exoskeleton. The creature fell. Icor sprang in the zero gravity. Another Vrex lunged at her, but she twisted away, her movements quick in the low gravity. She had grown up under Earth's crushing pull. Here she felt light and fast. The fight was brutal and chaotic. The Vrex were strong, but they had never faced beings who simply refused to stop. When a crew member lost his weapon, he grabbed a piece of broken hull and used it as a club. When another was cornered, she kicked off a wall and attacked from an unexpected angle. They fought with the desperate intensity of people who knew failure meant death for hundreds. Hana reached the ship's control center. More Vrex waited there, guarding their equipment. She didn't hesitate. She fired her laser, moved, fired again. Her training as a xenobiologist told her where to aim, where the Vrex's vital organs would be beneath their armor. The aliens fell, confused by this small being that moved so fast and fought so fiercely. She reached the controls and started entering commands, her fingers flying over the alien interface. The Vrex communication system was similar enough to Coalition standard. She could work with this. "All Vrex ships, this is the Dauntless," she broadcast. "We have taken one of your vessels. We are human. We are from Earth, and we are not letting you hurt these people." She activated the Raiders' weapons and fired on another Vrex ship, her captured vessel turning against its former allies. The other Vrex ships hesitated, confused by this development. In that moment of hesitation, the rest of the human crew acted. Half of them boarded the colony, moving through damaged corridors to find survivors. They pulled injured aliens to safety, patched hull breaches with emergency sealant, and restored life support systems that Coalition engineers had declared too damaged to repair. They worked with the stubborn persistence that Dr. Then had called terrifying, refusing to accept that anyone was beyond saving. The other half of the crew continued the fight, using the captured Vrex ship to attack the remaining raiders. They had no idea what they were doing, had never piloted anything like this, but they learned fast and adapted faster. They were human. Adaptation was what they did best. The Vrex finally understood they were losing. These small beings from an unknown world were destroying them. They broke off their attack and fled, their remaining ships jumping away to faster-than-light speeds. The battle was over. The colony was saved. Hana floated in the captured Vrex ship, breathing hard, her suit damaged and her body aching. Through the viewport, she could see the colony's lights flickering back to life as power was restored. Behind her, the rest of the boarding team gathered, exhausted and injured, but alive. "Everyone okay?" she asked. "Define okay?" Someone replied with a weak laugh. "But yeah, we made it." Hana opened a channel to the colony. "This is the Dauntless crew. The Vrex are gone. You're safe now." The response came in a dozen different alien voices, speaking through tears and relief and disbelief. "Thank you. Thank you. How did you do it?" "You saved us." "Thank you." Hana closed her eyes. They had done it. 12 humans with no military training had fought off an attack that would have destroyed the colony. They had proved something important here, though she wasn't sure the galaxy would understand what. In orbit above the rescued colony, the Dauntless waited, its engines finally powering down, and throughout Coalition space, billions of beings watched the recorded footage of the battle, seeing humans fight for the first time. The debate about humanity's place in the galaxy was about to change dramatically. The footage spread across the galaxy faster than light itself. Within hours, every civilized world had seen the recordings from the Tarragon Belt colony. They watched 12 humans board a Vrex raider ship. They saw Deathworlders fight with improvised weapons and desperate courage. They witnessed beings from Earth save 247 alien lives without hesitation. Hana stood in the colony's medical bay 3 days after the battle, helping treat the wounded. The colonists came from 17 different species, each with unique biology and needs. She worked alongside the colony's doctors, learning as she went, adapting to each new challenge. A young Quillarian approached her cautiously. Its mantis-like body was bandaged, one arm in a sling. "You are the human who broadcast to the Vrex," it said through its translator. "I am," Hana replied, checking the bandage to make sure it was holding properly. "I am Kelvus. I was in Section 4 when the hull breached. I thought I was going to die." The Quillarian's voice was soft. "Then humans came. One of your people carried me through a corridor that was venting atmosphere. She wouldn't leave me behind even when I told her to save herself." Hana remembered that rescue. Narration had carried 3 colonists through that corridor, her face turning blue from lack of oxygen. refusing to abandon anyone. She had collapsed once she reached the safe zone and spent a day in medical recovering. But all 3 colonists had lived. "We don't leave people behind," Hana said simply. "That is what I'm learning about humans." Kelvis was quiet for a moment. "I must apologize. In the council chambers, I spoke against your people. I called you dangerous. I said you should be quarantined. You weren't wrong. We are dangerous, but you are also kind. I did not understand that both things could be true." Kelvis touched its injured arm gently. "Thank you for saving us. Thank you for proving me wrong." Similar conversations were happening across the galaxy. Opinion about humans was shifting rapidly. News networks interviewed the colonists, who spoke with gratitude and amazement. Academics analyzed the battle footage, marveling at human tactics and adaptability. Even the Quillarian representative, who had spoken so harshly against humanity, issued a public statement reconsidering his position. But not everyone was convinced. On a coalition military station, officers watched the same footage with growing concern. 12 humans defeated 6 Vrex raiders, one admiral said quietly. "Imagine what a trained human military could do." "Should we be afraid?" Another asked. "I don't know. But we should be careful." On a civilian news channel, a panel of experts debated humanity's place in the galaxy. One spoke enthusiastically about the benefits humans could bring, their strength and courage used to protect coalition worlds. Another argued that inviting humans into the galaxy was inviting chaos, that their capacity for violence would eventually threaten everyone. Hana watched these debates from the colony, fascinated by how quickly everything had changed. Just weeks ago, aliens had run from her in terror. Now they approached her with curiosity and cautious respect. Children from various species asked for her autograph. Scientists requested interviews. She had become something she never expected, a celebrity. But fame brought problems. Some beings praised humans too much, calling them heroes and saviors. Others still feared them, seeing the battle not as a rescue but as evidence of human violence. The galaxy was divided, and the debate grew more heated every day. Ambassador Minho contacted Hana from Earth. His holographic form appeared tired but satisfied. "You did well, Dr. Kim. The Council is reconsidering our membership status. I think we have a real chance now." "What happens next?" Hana asked. "The formal vote will take place in 2 weeks. In the meantime, more human ships are arriving at various coalition stations. We need to make good impressions everywhere. Can you return to the transit station? Dr. Then has requested that you continue working with him." Hana agreed. She said goodbye to the colonists, who threw a celebration in her honor. They gave her gifts from their various homeworlds, tokens of gratitude and friendship. As she prepared to leave, Kelvis approached one final time. "Will humans protect us again if we need help?" the Quillarian asked. "Of course," Hana said. "That's what friends do." She returned to the transit station where her journey had begun. But everything was different now. The security barriers were gone. Aliens didn't run from her anymore. Some even smiled or offered greetings in their own ways. The station that had felt like a prison now felt almost welcoming. Dr. Then met her at the docking bay. His eye stalks waved in what she had learned was a Morphean expression of happiness. "Welcome back, Dr. Kim. I have much work for you. Many species want to understand humans better now. You have become quite important." Over the following days, Hana worked with researchers from across the coalition. She explained human biology and psychology. She answered questions about Earth's ecology and human culture. She tried to help them understand that humans were complex beings, capable of both violence and compassion, shaped by their harsh world but not defined by it. Other human crews arrived at coalition stations, and each interaction helped normalize human presence. A human medical team saved dozens of lives on a station outbreak, using aggressive treatment methods that coalition doctors had considered too risky. Human engineers solved a power generation problem that had stumped experts for months, approaching it from an angle no one else had considered. Human artists shared music and paintings that moved alien audiences to tears. Slowly, steadily, the galaxy was learning about humanity. Not just their strength or danger, but their creativity and kindness and determination. Then the warning came. Alarms screamed through the transit station. Dr. Then rushed to Hana's location, his eye stalks rigid with fear. "We have received a message from our observation posts. A Vrex fleet has entered the Sol system. They are heading toward Earth. Hana felt her blood turn cold. How many ships? 200. Maybe more. It is the largest Vrex offensive ever recorded. Dr. Then's voice shook. They mean to destroy your homeworld. They mean to end humanity before you can spread further into the galaxy. Hana ran to the communications center, desperately trying to contact Earth. The connection was delayed by the distance, but eventually she reached the defense coordinator in New York. We see them, the coordinator said, his face grim. The fleet is entering the asteroid belt now. They'll reach Earth orbit in 18 hours. What are our defenses? Everything we have. But Dr. Kim, we've only been in space for 40 years. We have maybe 60 military ships, mostly patrol vessels. The Vrex have 200 warships. The math isn't good. Hana looked at Dr. Then. The coalition has to help. Earth is a member world, even if just probationary. You have to send ships. Dr. Then's eye stalks drooped. The nearest coalition fleet is 5 days away. The council is meeting now to discuss a response, but there are debates about whether to intervene. Some members argue that this proves humans attract violence, that helping you would put the entire coalition at risk. So they're just going to let us die? I do not know. I hope not, but the council moves slowly, and Earth does not have time. Hana stared at the display showing the Vrex fleet approaching her homeworld. 8 billion humans lived on Earth, unaware that their first contact with the galaxy had made them targets. They were going to die because they had dared to reach for the stars. Unless something changed, unless humanity could find a way to survive. Ambassador Minho appeared on another screen. Behind him, Hana could see the lights of Seoul, the city where she had grown up. Dr. Kim, the situation is desperate. But Earth isn't helpless. We're preparing our defenses. Every ship we have is moving to intercept the Vrex. Every weapon is being brought online. We're evacuating cities near the coast in case of bombardment. We're doing everything we can. It won't be enough, Hana said quietly. Maybe not. But we're human. We don't surrender. We fight until we win or we die. That's what our harsh world taught us, remember? Nino smiled sadly. If this is the end, we'll make sure the galaxy remembers us. We'll show them what humans can do when our home is threatened. Hana thought about Earth, about the oceans and mountains and forests, about the cities full of people who dreamed of stars, about her family and friends and everyone she had ever known. She thought about humanity's first steps into the galaxy ending not with cooperation and friendship, but with extinction. No, she said firmly. No, this isn't the end. We can still change this. We have to. She turned to Dr. Then. Get me access to the council chambers. I need to speak to them. Now. Dr. Kim, the council is in closed session. I don't care. Get me in there, or I'll broadcast to every station in coalition space and tell them their precious council is letting an entire species die while they debate and talk. Get me in. Dr. Then hesitated. Then his eye stalks quivered in what might have been respect. Very well. I will arrange it. As Hana waited for the connection, she looked at the star map showing the Vrex fleet closing in on Earth. Time was running out, but humans had faced extinction before, back when they were just clever apes on a dangerous world. They had survived then through persistence and courage. They would survive now the same way.